I do, or if I'm going to come across that happening inside the banking hall, I'm going to have to call those two people involved. It
may be not your institution, but I have sat in one bank especially, and then somebody walked in, did their transaction and left, and then the person just turned and said, "Limo jaye dafa ñëw pour jël overdraft."
That's wrong. And I mean, whichever bank staff actually did that, I'm sure if you can complain back, or that customer went back to make a complaint, they will address it there and then. Those people will be taken off the front line completely. Now, it depends on their policy, whether they're going to be retrained, reoriented, or taken off front line completely. But confidentiality is what, you know.
But what is the least punishment a banker will get with regards to breaching confidentiality?
I'm not very sure. I think immediate suspension is the least. Okay. Because you're dealing with people's cash. You're dealing with people's financial background. You're not supposed to disclose. That is why I now said to you, issue a check. And the check has an issue, meaning there's an alteration or the balance is not very, very healthy. Then we would obviously talk to Hadijatu and not to you. That is confidentiality being played there.
Right, but usually you have people who will come to you and say, "Oh, are you allowed to kind of like just draft a check and then send it to the bank and then probably call somebody in the bank and then say, oh, I have done this, but there isn't enough funds, don't pay"? Or is it, do you kind of find the person, the customer, if there is you on check where the balance is not sufficient enough to pay out?
Like, okay, when it comes to bank PHP, what we normally do is when we receive such checks, there is always an account officer assigned to a particular account. Okay. So for instance, Ramatulai, you have an account with bank PHP. Hadijatu is a staff of bank PHP. Hadijatu would be your account officer. So if you issue a check to Pamod comes to the bank, the first thing we would do is get in touch with Hadijatu to say, Ramatulai mungi issue a check to Musa, to Pamodu, sorry. Why dafa am a little bit, there's a difference on the check way. The bank would look at the check, look at the amount, and look at your account history. It is very, very, very rare for a bank to just return your check like that.
Just like that.
Yes, especially for salary account holders. Even if you know that we don't have that particular amount, we can also offer other services, like we have our overdraft, we have the salad, we have a short-term loan and all long-term loans. All those things are done for the benefit of the customer. So we would not return the check unpaid unless there's a specific reason why we're doing it.
Okay, we did a street interview about customer services, so we'll watch that video now and hear what the people say about some of the services that they're being provided with, and we'll be right back. Lan nga foog about customer service in Gambia?
Customer service in Gambia des na nga dem place pour dem sa soxla nga dem fekk nit ki soo ko nuyoo léegi-léeg mu fay la ba pare comme du la ibil kanamam bi mu ras ba pare sega di concentré si leneen pour mu laaj la yow lan mooy sa soxla du la ko laaj fii customer care bi dañu war a change daal seet nuñ ko war a defee.
Yow da nga di am confidence soo duggee place xëy na nga ne supermarket, restaurant, or bank, or GSM company, and they feel satisfied. Nah,
do they feel satisfied because nuñ ma dee attene, do ma dee kontaan. Thank you.
So customer service dal dega baax na nag, waaye on the other hand war nañoo try ñu improve at least tuuti suñ improve dina lii mën a tane si dëkk bi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
What's your name?
My name is Samuel.
Samuel. It's the Fata Show, and today we're discussing customer service in the Gambia. So we just want to find out what your encounters have been in other institutions. What do you think of the customer services in Gambia? What do you think?
Well, I think the customer service in Gambia, it's not what it should be, because I believe as a customer, if I'm coming to get a service, I should get value for basically the service in which I basically want. Now, many a time it seems as if people are doing you a favor by offering you the service, and you don't get your money's worth for it. Now, I for one don't actually think that, because, like, you know, I've been in and about basically, and I know what customer service should be. Now, if you're employed to do a particular job and to serve a customer, I believe you should do it with utmost, even if you're stressed up, you're angry when you see a customer, you should put on a smile, you know, make sure they feel happy, but don't make it as if like you're doing them a favor. And nobody do me a favor, so my money, I'm gonna get value for it basically.
So do you think there is room for improvement?
There's a lot of room for improvement, and I think it comes with basically the education. People need to be a bit educated about how to treat their customer, because believe it or not, the customer is the king. If you're working and you're having to serve a customer, the customer is why you're there basically. The customer is why you get paid basically a salary. So if you don't treat the customer nicely, you don't, the institution you're working don't get businesses or don't get finances, and you don't get paid. You go out of job. So basically, so if they're the reason why you're there, why are you acting up whenever they come towards you?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. What's your name?
My name is Daniel John.
Daniel John.
Yeah.
Daniel, what do you think of the customer service level in the Gambia?
You know, some customer service like this, like GSM network like this, they say that customer services, sometimes you call them, the phone will be ringing, nobody is picking the call. Sometimes if they find out pick the call, somebody will just answer you hello, and you're just gonna leave you and they're chatting with their friend inside there. You're just gonna be like, is this a customer service or is it a chat room? You're just gonna hang the phone. So you just feel like, you know, they have to, if they say that customer service, when somebody call them, you don't know why the person are calling you. Besides, we are using your SIM card, so you're just gonna try to attend to us. You don't know why we are calling you. So I think they should try and do something. If they are tired, then they should have somebody else to take care of the business.
So do you think the money that you're paying to get these services, do you think the services is worth your money?
I don't think so, because if I'm paying the money, I expect you, when I call you to inquire about something, I expect you to just give me what I want, not to call you like 8 minutes, nobody is picking the call. It just seems like nobody is inside the room. So I just don't understand. That is not too good.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
What's your name, sorry?
Miss Gas, fine.
Yes, okay. We're doing an interview today regarding customer service in the Gambia.
Okay.
What is your take? What encounters have you had in the past?
Well, really, I think it's changing, but there are a lot of things that need to change. I'm in the same line of business as well. I do customer service every day. But you will bump in some restaurant or the bank, I think they just don't feel confident about themselves and they don't know what they're doing exactly. But I think delivering a very good customer service will bring you more money, more customers, and I think it really is about time it has to change.
The funny thing is, most of the girls in the banks and GSM companies, they're so beautiful, they're really nice, but they don't smile. What's the problem? Is it confident problem, you think?
Yes, they don't have